Apple just fired Qualcomm, not officially, not with a press release, but when the iPhone 18 Pro ships this September, it ships without a single Qualcomm component inside it. And there are three specific things the C2 chip does that the iPhone 17 Pro simply cannot. One of them most people aren't talking about. We'll get to it. So here's the thing. For over a decade, Apple put Qualcomm modems in its Pro iPhones, the part that connects your phone to the internet, the part that controls your battery when you're on cellular, the part that decides how your phone behaves in a stadium with 50,000 people all trying to stream at once. Last year, the standard iPhone 17 still had Qualcomm. The Pro had Qualcomm. Apple was paying a competitor, literally writing checks to Qualcomm for one of the most critical chips in the device. The C2 ends that. And it's not just a swap, it's a category shift. Here are the three things that actually change and why they matter for you specifically. The first one is battery life. And I know every iPhone announcement promises better battery life every single year, like clockwork. But this one is different, and here's why. The C2 chip is built on a 2 nanometer process, tighter integration with the A20 chip, fewer data paths between components, less heat, less power draw, not just when you're streaming, but when the phone is sitting in your pocket pinging towers every few seconds. That last part matters more than most people realize. Your modem is always working, always. Every background sync, every notification, every time your phone checks for signal, the modem is running. Estimates point to 30 to 60 extra minutes of real-world battery life per day just from the modem alone. On top of that, the iPhone 18 Pro is also getting a slightly larger physical battery cell and a more efficient A20 chip. Three separate sources of battery improvement stacked at the same time. The iPhone 17 Pro Max already outlasts every Android flagship in independent testing, and the 18 Pro is building on that foundation. So when Apple says all-day battery this year, they might actually mean it. Here's the one I mentioned at the top. The C2 modem brings full support for a feature called limit precise location. What does that mean in plain language? Right now, your carrier knows exactly where you are, down to your address in real time with limit precise location enabled. They might see your neighborhood, they might see your borough, but not your block, not your building. This isn't a software feature. It requires Apple's own modem to work. And until now, it's only been available on a small handful of devices. The iPhone Air, the iPhone 17e, the M5 iPad Pro, the iPhone 18 Pro joins that list. And here's what's interesting. Apple isn't just building this for the people who care about privacy. They're making it a default feature of the flagship experience, which means carriers are going to have to respond to it. That's not a small thing. The third advantage is the one that's hardest to explain in a spec sheet, but the easiest to feel in real life. Picture this. You're at a concert, 60,000 people. Everyone's trying to post the same moment at the same time. Your phone shows full bars and does absolutely nothing with them. That's congested network performance, and it's where Qualcomm's modem, the C1 before it, genuinely struggled. The C2 is designed differently because Apple makes both the A20 chip and the C2 modem. They talk to each other in real time. The processor can tell the modem which data is time sensitive. A voice call, an iMessage going out, an emergency notification coming in, and the modem can prioritize that traffic over everything else. In independent tests, Apple's modem architecture maintained 92% of throughput under simulated congestion, compared to 78% for the previous Qualcomm benchmark. That's not a spec sheet number. That's the difference between your phone working at the airport and your phone being a very expensive brick with full bars. There's a fourth thing worth mentioning. Well, even though we haven't fully confirmed it yet, the C2 is expected to support millimeter wave 5G. The C1, Apple's first modem, didn't, which meant iPhone 16e users were missing the fastest flavor of 5G entirely. Theoretical speeds over 1 gigabit per second, the kind of speeds you would actually feel in airports and dense urban centers. C2 closes that gap, and it's paired with expected support for satellite connectivity, which could move satellite access from an emergency feature to a standard one. That's the direction this is going. So here's the actual story with the iPhone 18 Pro. It's not the camera, even though the variable aperture is genuinely interesting. It's not the design because it barely changes. It's not even the 20 chip, which is going to be fast in ways that are almost impossible to feel in daily use. The story is what's inside the phone that you'll never see. A modem that Apple owns, a modem that Apple built, a modem that talks to the processor in a way Qualcomm never could, because Qualcomm was never allowed in that room. Better battery, real location, privacy, a phone that works when the network doesn't, and the price. Analysts expect Apple to hold it steady, the same starting point as the iPhone 17 Pro, which means you're paying less for more. If you're on iPhone 16 Pro hardware or older, the case to upgrade this fall is the strongest it's been in years. Not because of what you'll see, because of what changed underneath. So, which of the three C2 advantages actually matters most to you? Let me know. Let me